The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership outlines key principles that are essential for anyone striving to be an effective leader. These laws provide a roadmap for personal growth and leadership development. Here's a brief summary of each of the 21 laws, starting with the first 5 laws: Law of the Lid, Law of Influence, Law of the Process, Law of the Navigation, and Law of Addition. 1. The Law of the Lid. The story. When I think about the Law of the Lid, I can't help but think of Colonel Sanders, the man behind KFC. He was a 65-year-old man with little more than a fried chicken recipe and a dream. He didn't have money, he didn't have influence, and yet, he became one of the most recognized entrepreneurs of his time. What made the difference? His leadership ability. If Colonel Sanders had never taken charge of his own company, he would have remained just a man with a recipe. But his leadership lid was high enough to lead the entire fast food industry. Key takeaway. Your leadership ability determines your effectiveness. The higher your leadership lid, the higher your potential. Recommended action for leaders. Evaluate your leadership lid. How high is it? To raise it, you must grow in your leadership skills. Start by identifying areas where you can improve, be it vision, communication, or decision-making, and then take intentional steps to develop those skills. 2. The Law of Influence. The story. When I think about influence, I think of Abraham Lincoln. This man didn't lead through sheer power or position. He led through influence. During the darkest days of the American Civil War, Lincoln was able to bring together a divided nation, not through authority, but through his ability to influence others to rally behind his vision. Leaders who rely on their title often fail. But when you lead with influence, people follow you willingly. Key takeaway. Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't need a title to be a leader, you need influence. Recommended action for leaders. Ask yourself, how much influence do I have with those I lead? If your influence is low, start by earning trust. Lead by example, serve others, and communicate your vision. Influence is built over time, but it's rooted in authenticity. 3. The Law of Process. The story. I often use Michael Jordan as an example of this law. Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, yet he became one of the greatest players to ever live. What set him apart wasn't just his raw talent, but his relentless commitment to the process. Every day he worked on improving his skills, and over time, his leadership ability grew alongside his talent. Leadership is the same way. It's a process, not an event. Key takeaway. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. Growth is a slow, steady process. Recommended action for leaders. Commit to the daily process of growth. Read leadership books, attend workshops, or find a mentor. Like Jordan, don't expect overnight success. Develop yourself a little bit each day, and soon you'll see dramatic progress. 4. The Law of Navigation. The story. Christopher Columbus was a man who understood the law of navigation. He didn't simply sail off into the unknown. He had a plan. He charted his course to the new world with precision and foresight. Imagine what would have happened if he had just set sail without knowing where he was going. Leadership is about having a clear vision and guiding others toward that destination. You can't just steer a ship, you need to chart the course. Key takeaway. Anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. Recommended action for leaders. As a leader, you need to create a clear vision. If you don't have one, start by asking, where are we going? Break that vision into actionable steps and communicate it to your team. Your leadership will be much more effective when everyone knows the direction. 5. The Law of Addition. The story. Mother Teresa is a perfect example of this law. She didn't lead by seeking recognition or power. She led by serving. She added value to those around her simply by giving of herself. Every time she served someone in need, she added value to their life. Leadership isn't about advancing yourself, it's about lifting others up. Key takeaway. Leaders add value by serving others. Recommended action for leaders. Ask yourself, how can I serve the people I lead today? Focus on adding value to others, whether it's through mentoring, encouragement, or solving their problems. Serve them with the heart of a leader, and you will build a team that is loyal and motivated. Coming up next are the second batch of Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss them.